dogs, you know how we love going to events and celebrating the joy of dogs and their people. Well, that's why we're jumping on Zoom now to catch up with Keef Yap of the infamous YapYap.dog. I'm Anna Webb. Welcome to A Dog's Life. Keef Yap, the founder of YapYap.dog. I am so excited that you're back on A Dog's Life podcast.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me back again. It's always great to be on your podcast, Anna. Love your podcast. Big fan.
Oh, thanks, Keef. Yeah, no, it's a good thing, the podcast. And, you know, we've known each other now, well, for over a year, which has flown by. But in that time, I have the utmost respect, Keef, for you, as you know, because I have an events background amongst many things in my big jigsaw puzzle of life. I'm all for a good event, bringing people together in real life. That's what I really think, communication is all about. And you've nailed it in the space of dogs.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anna. Yeah, I think it is really good. I mean, I have always been a massive advocate of meeting in real life. I've always been an advocate of community. I mean, that is something that us human nature craves, especially dog parent living in the city in London. It is such a transient and busy city, and everyone leads their, such a busy life. And it is always nice to take a pause or to give a reason for people to take a pause and to basically connect and socialize their dog and themselves. So it's been, yeah, I know we have known each other for a fair bit already, isn't it? I mean, you were involved in the last Winter Woof. That was amazing. And and we just did a second one last weekend, which you helped to again be the amazing host for the competition. It was really, really fun. How do you feel about the competition when you hosted it, Anna?
Well, I enjoyed it. Look, these things are great for me to do because I really believe that the way to get the best out of your dog is to socialize your dog, to go to places, to work through different experiences, train away from different distractions that you might meet, to really make your dog the best your dog can be. And that means taking them on the underground, taking them on the buses, going to events, meeting other dogs, learning how to do polite meet and greets. But what the competition did at the weekend, you had the most talented, wasn't it? It was called the best trick, the most talented.
Yeah, most talented, Marius Jumper, and of course, the best rescue, which we always want. Yeah.
Exactly. But I was very impressed in the most talented because what it's shown me is that people have been busy training their dogs a lot of tricks, which is brilliant because, a long time ago, I used to compete in professional doggy dancing competitions, actually, and choreograph dance routines with my dog and perform them in a ring. I know, how mad. And that was very, very stressful, but lots of good fun. So I'm definitely qualified in terms of knowing which moves are more difficult to train a dog. And of course, getting that reliability of a cue that you give to your dog and the dog performing it. It is ultimate teamwork to me. And I thought everyone that entered really were very, very good. But the thing is with these competitions, and the bit I don't like, is picking a winner because everyone's a winner in my book for being there with their dog, and taking the trouble to go to an event with their dog. And that's the bit I really, really love. So these things should be taken in the spirit of what they are. It's fun. It's a laugh, and not to take it too seriously.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's basically the whole mission in terms of when I organize events. The ultimate goal is to bring a smile to all the dog parents, give a reason for the dog parents in London to meet up for a bit of socializing. There's some competition, but it's not meant to be taken too seriously. And we have activities in place for everyone that suits everybody's style and needs. I mean, the Santa Claus photo is always a massive highlight for our Winter Woof event. I mean, we have worked with Andrew Raven Imagery, who's an amazing and talented photographer that has he's almost a dog whisperer. every dog every doggy and pups just love him and just really naturally in front of his camera. And obviously we have the prostology. Again, it's not meant to be taken too seriously. It's just meant for a bit of a fun, a bit of a laugh, and a bit of a connection with your dog. You know, like the whole point of, yeah, I mean, especially for the competition. So we would love, as I'm sure you do as well, to have every single person that enter the competition get to win the prize. To us, they win the prize by entering the competition already. And yeah, I mean, that's really basically what I mean, competition is fun, but it shouldn't be taken too seriously. It's meant for a bit of a fun.
Yeah, exactly. And it adds dimension to an event. Otherwise, it's great to do some shopping and check out some brands. And, it's a lovely window shopping experience. If, you're not going to buy then and there, you can touch things and look at things and think, yeah, I might get that next month. That's a really nice little outfit that I might save up for. Or, there's all of that. But it's the humans to the humans and it's the dogs to the dogs. But it's also about the dogs with their humans and really showing that it is still possible to build a bond with your dog and teach your dog skills that you can both enjoy. So yeah, no, it's they're very positive, your Yap Yap events. I know I've been to quite a few this year, not all of them, I know, but I do remember one that I thought was utterly brilliant. And I think Mr. Binks was down with me. It was the Easter egg bunny
It's the
hunt.
egg hunt.
The
Yeah.
Easter egg
Yeah,
hunt. I
it's the
know.
head. Yeah.
And everyone was wearing bunny ears. And it was so well organized. That's the thing. I mean, you obviously, Keef, have got very good organizational skills.
Thank you for that. I think I mean it helps. I've been doing it from the smaller event probably the last 3 years already. So as the events get bigger, I guess my organization skill gets bigger too, gets better. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really, really good fun. I mean, different types of events requires different types of planning. There's also, it's always really interesting because when you actually do organize an event, which Anna, um, the effort to put it, the effort behind it to actually host and make an event a success, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of planning to make the event successful. And yeah, but there's also there will always be a certain percentage that that you may not have pre-planned, but most of the time when you plan it properly, it usually works. Yeah.
I mean, you've built quite a community, as you say. I mean, this word community is key, isn't it? But you've also got your eye on what is, I would say, a really expanding market of boutique companies. I mean, dogs have always been, I mean, I hate to say this, big business, but in recent years, I guess, the capitalist nature of the world is tapping into, well, what I coined many years ago. The expression is the hound pound. So, but you've got your eye on these smaller firms that are offering really good, well-intended food, supplements, services, accessories, you name it. So there's a lovely balance at your events of well, certainly at the Winter Woof that happened last weekend because it was indoors, so perfect to have a little marketplace environment. It's interesting as such, to have a little nose around and see new things. That's really great on one level. So there's it's a very stimulating environment. I know I came out completely exhausted, which is good because it's when you come out completely exhausted or and exhilarated,
That's great.
hopefully you've taken part, you've gotten involved, and there was lots to see, lots of people to meet, and obviously choosing that venue in particular, which was it was the white, is it called it's not called the White Cube, is it the White Space at the Ministry?
Yeah, the so the Winter Woof actually was we hosted this year's Winter Woof at the ministry. How it The reason why we hosted it there is that we are raising funds for Jai Dog Rescue, which is basically the ministry's default or go to charity. The reason why we and the ministry has been the venue has been probably one of the best venue that I've worked with. I mean, it has got different, you can call it a breakout area or corner for different activities. One of the tricks that I've learned about hosting a really good event is to have different activation or different theme for different type of dog parents. I mean, there are dog parents that love shopping, so we have got in place, we actually invited about 20 over brands, all from bone broth to shampoo to accessories to treats to food to even DNA testing company to be there to attend the event. And obviously, we have got more like the creative, more fashionista photography opportunity with Santa Paws. And we even did a workshop with a dog where you can get a paw print. You can make a Christmas card, a Woofmas card making workshop with your pet, working alongside this talented artist called Jenny. So yeah, I think the idea that we like to do that bring to the people is to host an event that provides different types of experience to dog owners, bring a new, fresh, a fresh take to what dog event is. Market stall is fun, is great, but what else can we do better? What else can we provide to dog parents that can bond with either with the dog and opportunity for them to do something new. The interesting is like for the Winter Woof, we had about quite an amazing array of brands. I mean, some of the brands that we have is the bone broth, XO. Then obviously we got Dog Pet, which is amazing award-winning shampoo. Lots of accessories from Green Dog to Pink Pups to Salvatore Paws that makes the nicest jumpers, and we have amazing food brand like Marley Bones. I think what I like is also to bring to provide a platform for brands, new brands, especially up-and-coming brands. We have a few, for example, brands that is actually showcasing their product for the first time in a live event. So like we've got Hugo's Favorite that does a most interesting and amazing pet treats from like kangaroo
Yeah,
meat.
no,
And
they're
then we have
great.
like scrums, which is like, calming supplements, all natural, all organic. Yeah. I mean, a lot of my community, they love coming to my events because of that. It's sort of like they always say that, oh, I always get to know, I get to find out new brands. So yeah, so that's a very nice, I would say, a big part of Winter Woof, definitely.
Yeah, no, really good. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's perfect, as you say. You're catering for the humans and you're catering for the dogs, and it was nice in that space because there was an outside area. So I went
Yes.
out there one bit, and that was lovely, and everyone was having a super time. You know, sitting down, getting the dogs getting some fresh air, which is nice. I do
It's a
hope you'll
great
be.
space. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
a
great
really
space.
nice. Yeah.
Really, really good. And the whole concept, absolutely top notch, you know. And it all began with your own dog, didn't it, Keith?
Yeah, it started with me being a pet parent. I mean, being a dog parent. I had got buttons about 4.5 years ago. So I wanted to meet other pet parents. So I just organized a mini meetup. 10 people came. And that was it. That was like 3 years ago. Organized a mini. At that point, we didn't call Winter Woof, we just called it a Santa Paws Market. It was oversubscribed. We rented a small little hall in Chelsea. That was like 2023, 22. So December 2022. A smaller hall that's probably about 600 square feet. To think that how we have come, I mean, like, and that was when I sort of knew that what, you know, basically I have to keep going because there's a community and the people just keep coming.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at one point there was a queue around the block, wasn't
Yes,
there?
there
On
was a queue along the block. Yeah, I mean, we had a Santa Claus grotto. I think it was mental. The queue was literally outside. It felt like they were going to meet Harry Styles or something, but it wasn't. They were just going to meet Mr. Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is actually just one of the dog one of the dog dad from a community called Peter. So he's been amazing. He's still at Santa Paws for the third time. So he is I would say, our go-to Santa Paws. So big thanks to Peter.
Oh, that's so funny, that you think every year, that's going to be your job, to be Father
He loves
Christmas.
doing it. He just
Yeah.
loves doing it. Like, yeah, but obviously now, I mean, obviously the as the event gets bigger, and I think Peter did one whole shift on his own, so he was stuck in a grotto for 6 hours. So big kudos to him for the first time. So we have more Santa Paws now. So the last Winter Woof, we had 3 Santa Paws. So each Santa Paws took had a 2-hour shift. So that's more humane, you can say, than having to sit in a Santa Paws for 6 hours. But to them, they say it's the best job they have. Just sitting on a red couch in an outfit and just being just posing with cute little dogs. I mean, like, I guess it's probably not quite a fun job to have, I guess.
Yeah, not the worst job in the
Yeah,
world. I would
definitely
definitely
not. Yeah.
concur on that, actually. No, fantastic, Keith. Really good. So, Buttons, your little MaltiPoo,
Yeah.
he's created quite the sensation for metropolitan pooches, would you say?
Yeah, he has. I guess I mean, I'll call him my chief paw officer. He's all my co-founder. To be honest, he was the one that started it all. I mean, if not because of him, yep. I mean, yeah, would have exist, and Winter Woof would have exist, and I mean, big thanks to him, and I think he is probably, I would say, the most famous MaltiPoo in London right now.
Without doubt, I mean,
Yes,
there
and
isn't another
yeah.
one like him.
No, and there's lots of Buttons puppies as well that's happening.
What more?
Yeah, actually, I think Sunny, one of the MaltiPoo as well. We have another 3 later, so I think they're probably like they could be about 4 weeks old now. So yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a grandparent.
You really are. Well, and that's great because, Buttons is a really well adjusted MaltiPoo. He's had a great life.
He is.
So he's going to, as any MaltiPoo, is going to give good genes, because it's all to do with the environment and absorbing the good out of life that will then get transferred to his offspring.
Yes, yeah, he is very calm, very good nature. So definitely a good stud dog, definitely.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
No, that's so funny. I mean, I'm on the edge with, all of the designer crossbreeds, being
Mm.
open. I did say that to you, didn't I? Remember we went for
Yes, of course.
coffee.
Yes.
And, because I come from the background of a world before designer crosses existed, in
Yes.
fairness, most of my life. So it is a kind of new thing. And I think it's all fantastic, but sometimes some of these mixes, I talked about it actually, I think a bit on GB News last night. Some issues can occur with, say, cockapoos if they have a working cocker spaniel as their cocker
Yeah.
spaniel side, and many people don't even know there is a difference between a working cocker and a show
Yes.
spaniel, and then they wonder why their dog has
Yes.
got behavioral problems. Well,
Yes.
a working cocker spaniel needs to run about 10 miles every day,
Yes.
so to be settled and content, because that's how they are, that's what they're bred, they're hardwired. So it's always about, for me, choosing the right dog for your experience, for your lifestyle, and for your accommodation. And when you get that right, even then there's going to be individuals within all of that.
Yeah, the
But
personality trait, isn't it?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. And understanding why dogs do things. I think it's a really important lesson for people to learn, and for people to really think, why did I get a dog? That's the other thing. There's a dog is for every day, or it is in my book.
No, it is 100%. I think, yeah, yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, like, the new designer dog breed, the mixed breed are new, relatively new, obviously. And even within, yeah, and you're totally right. I think a lot of donors before a lot of them sort of just knew that they wanted a poo mix, and without actually have got zero knowledge of knowing what's the difference between a cockapoo and a multipoo and a cavapoo. So yeah, I think the key is probably, I hope, I mean, with us sort of being really active, creating a platform for dog owners to meet up. It gives I guess each dog owners socializing a platform to socialize a pet, and also to even sort of provide some education to dog parents on the difference between a cavapoo and a cockapoo. Like you say, a cockapoo personality trait will be very different to a multipoo, although they are both poodle mixes.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, a long time ago, people thought that these mixes were going to be healthier than their pedigree individual parents, but that's been proved not to be the case actually by the Royal Vet College quite recently. So
Right.
I know. So, and
Okay.
and it's important to know things like, some of the health problems with a Cavalier, for example. I mean, in Norway, they've banned breeding Cavaliers, full stop, at the moment, down to their heart problems. And
Right.
I know, and this thing called Syringia amelia, which affects their brain. A lot of small toy dogs can get that. It's about making their heads too round, so that the
Ah,
brain, I know, doesn't have enough room, and over time compression happens, and yeah, it's not very nice basically. I mean, it's a shame, and that can then also be transferred, in a designer crossbreed just as much as it can in a Cavalier to a Cavalier. So there's a lot to think about, and it all goes down to responsible breeding, and there's a big campaign going on in government again to stop puppy smuggling, from mainly, sadly, from Southern Ireland, where there's a lot of puppy farms where lots of designer crossbreeds are bred and then shipped over to the UK, and then people buy these dogs on the internet. That, to me, has to stop. I really actually want to get behind a huge campaign. I don't know how it can be stopped in this capitalist world, but you should not buy a dog on the internet. I mean, it's just
no, you shouldn't. Yeah.
it's I mean, okay, look, I'm quite old now and everything, but it's just not how you buy a dog.
No, 100%, definitely.
So I think there's a lot more that needs to be done in terms of regulation, mainly as well to stop people having a broken heart. There's lots of tragic stories of people buying a puppy and, it hasn't come from a very good background and it dies, putting it bluntly. So there is campaigning out there, which is good. And I think, it's important to look at the world of dogs now, understanding all these different elements that are there and helping people navigate to get the right way. I think it's great. Buttons is a fantastic little dog. I know Buttons and he's brilliant. So he's obviously not a victim of this unscrupulous
No, he's not.
trade,
Yeah.
So of course, it's not that all of them are, but many are. As because I mean, it's big business for some people. I mean, I
Yeah,
know,
it is definitely.
and that's where it all goes wrong. The
Yeah.
hound pound needs to be balanced and be in the spirit of goodness for dogs. I think that's what I've got.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's what
definitely.
you are doing with Yap Yap, without doubt. I mean, I wouldn't host events at your event if I didn't think it was a really good, true, wholesome environment where people could really benefit and learn from it all and push themselves. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit
Thank
here now.
you.
But yeah, I just wish some of these events had been around, 20 years ago, because, they weren't. And it's interesting as
Yeah,
well
I know.
to
Yeah.
look kind of historically at dogs and how we're living with dogs and how things, are changing and adapting, because things have changed and have adapted, for 30,000 years. And that's the wonderful thing about dogs. They're so adaptable. They are so adaptable.
Yeah, that's what that's acceptable, definitely. And I think
Mm,
they are, I mean, um they used to be perceived just as a pet, but now they are part of your family.
of
Every
course.
yeah. Whereas I grew up with lots of dogs when I was a kid back in Malaysia. I grew up in Malaysia, and I think how many have I got? Probably like 4 to 5. We got a black lab, Japanese Spitz, a few, a mom and dad with some offspring, a Dachshund called Danny the Dachshund, and we love them to bits. But they, as far as I know, as a kid, as a child, but they are still a dog. It's like we don't. I don't remember taking. I don't remember my mom talking about gut health or what food to feed Gordon and
Mm,
Danny. Is basically just scraps that we from my dinner table
mm.
that we sort of just feed them. They live, in a sort of like a kennel or doghouse, just in the back garden. They come into the house occasionally. That's about it. We take them for a walk, which is so different to me and Buttons now. I mean, like I take him everywhere. He's stuck to my hip, to say the least. And I watch and read everything, about what food I feed him, what can I do, better to keep him long and healthy. And
Mm.
we take him everywhere, to restaurants, to my social circle basically has changed 360 since I became a pet parent. I
So
only hang out. I only hang out with other pet parents. I mean, so yeah, it's all for the good. I love it. I always say that I've been in London I live in London for close to probably 6, 7 years. Before Buttons, I can't remember my life before Buttons. It was just a shade of gray.
I love that. A shade of grey before your dog. I think
Yes,
that's I think that's so good. And that's what they do. Dogs, they make us whole. They are
yes,
man's best friend, remember.
hundred
But
percent.
but I get it. And of course, yes, times have changed. A long time ago, dogs lived in the kitchen,
Yeah, yeah.
and then bit by bit, they've wangled their way. They're very clever. And now they're in our beds,
Yes, they're eating with
So
us.
exactly. So, they're smart dogs. I
Yeah.
do believe they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh,
And
they do.
that's fantastic. So yeah, but it's tough, isn't it, as well, being out there. And there is competition. That's the thing
Mm.
at the moment. And I know, we were in touch just before the Winter Woof, and
Yes.
I was really upset to see that somebody, it's difficult, isn't it, with copyright and patents and names and all the rest of it? Who owns what and who can say that,
Yeah.
this is always,
Yeah.
I suppose, going to be a problem unless you've got a huge amount of money to spend on I mean, can you patent a name of an event, Keith? Do you know?
Yeah, yeah, competition is always, as per anything, there'll always be competition. And sometimes if you were to think on another angle, being copied is a massive form of flattery, which means, oh, okay, you're doing something, of significant because you're being copied. And you can actually, trademark your name. To be honest, you can even trademark your podcast name. If you haven't already done so, I would highly encourage you to do so. Doesn't
Mm.
cost a lot. Just have to go to the trademark, the government trademark website, and get a trademark according to the classes or the categories that you want. So, for example, Dogs Life, if you want to trademark it under podcast name, so that basically you own it wholly, and nobody else in UK can launch another podcast with the same name.
It's a really
So
good
you
idea. It's a really
you
good
should.
idea.
It's things like sort of like sometimes that you don't. I've always been someone that just I like to focus on basically my North Star, which is basically what I want to do is to provide, to host great events, to give a portion of a great platform for London dog owners for a nice day to celebrate, being a pet parent, and basically an opportunity for them to mingle and socialize and to get to know other brands. So I just want to keep doing me in the sense competition is great. I like healthy competitions, but of course, and that's what, and you don't sort of like probably, I've never thought that, I, I've never thought, or I wouldn't, I guess in me, I've never expected to so-called be, the interesting thing about events is that, as your background in events as well, once you the curating an amazing events, once you put it out there, you can't really stop people from copying.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an event has certain component parts which are
Yeah.
the same. There's a
Yes.
venue, there's people that arrive, there's
Exactly.
entertainment, there's
Yeah.
features and so on. But you had a name, and we won't mention any names specifically. Okay, so we're not mentioning
Yeah.
any names, but yeah, it
Exactly.
was all unfortunate, wasn't it? Running
It
into Winter
was.
Woof,
It
and
was.
and
Yeah.
and
That.
and I could see it was done on purpose, and that is when it becomes a little bit disappointing. And I suppose the
Yeah.
old capitalist business head rises in people. And where I find that sad in the world of dogs is dogs mean no harm.
Yep.
Dogs just want to have fun. Dogs are the truth. Dogs are innocent. And then warping that, if you like, in a human sense, humans warp it. And that's when I think it spoils it. It spoils the fun.
Agree.
It spoils what these events are supposed to be about, which we've just talked about: having fun, meeting people, being innocent. You can go there, you can spend money if you want, you don't have to spend money if you don't want. It's about just absorbing an atmosphere and getting out. So I just feel it's sad that the humans spoil it in a way for the dogs.
It is true. It is. You have just articulated it so spot on. The it's an interesting space because I'm my mission has always been just for the goodness of the dog, for the goodness of pet parents, and that's it. I want to do more of it purely because of that. And obviously different people, that's everyone has got their own agenda, and I'm still a firm believer of healthy competition, but yeah, but not everyone has got the same um, ethos or mission
Yeah.
or theory or way of working as me.
Yeah. No, well, exactly. But then that's, that's something you should be proud of. And I think, it shows through the events that you put together because there's a fun vibe. I mean,
Mm,
I'm quite into energies, and you can walk into a room and the atmosphere can feel completely awful, and you can
mm,
walk into a room and you feel energy in a positive way. And that, I would say, well, it was definitely at the Winter Woof. It really was. I know. I
thank
just
you
wish
for
I
that.
hadn't worn that cream roll neck. I mean, it was like, how boring, cream
You look
roll.
good though. Yeah, I love your cream roller and your pinstripe suit. Yeah,
I know. No, it was good. But there's always room for improvement. That's the other thing with these things. I feel they're organic. There's lessons to be learned from
100%.
every event. I'm
Yeah.
very self-critical. So I've gone through all the video clips you've sent me going, oh, please, why don't you put your bag over there, hang on a minute, you got to stand stiller. It got off actually, but there was other clips where I think, oh, I know that's really quite funny, that's good.
No, you were
So,
good. You're such a natural, and that's why you have hosted Winter Woof competition for the second time already. So as I said, you will be the Winter Woof host as long as Winter Woof is going, and which we will be. I mean, took on board some feedback from a lot of our community, a lot of our attendees from the events. I mean, definitely the next year's Winter Woof will be even bigger and better.
hurrah. No, that's great. And that's it. It's organic, and it's to
Yes,
rise above things and keep
100%.
keep focus. And I think the message of today's chat is, not to be knocked down, to
100%.
keep going and to believe in what you're doing and have pride in it, which I think stands out, Keith. So it's
Thank
it's
you.
it's all great. I can't wait for the next one, really. I know there's others through next year. I'm sure there's going to be some other editions. There'll be Easter, because
Yeah.
normally around kind of the seasonal highlights, you're creating something, an event for people to get on with, to pop
Yeah,
in,
just
say
an
hello.
excuse, just an excuse for pet parents to meet up, to to socialize, and to bring a dog, to dress up their dog, and for a bit of laugh. I mean, our biggest event is usually, I think we've got a massive following, is obviously the Easter hunt, Halloween hunt, and of course Winter Woof. So and our Snuggle Fest as well. So yeah, so you can say we've got four big-ish sort of event that dog parents in London look forward to.
No, it's brilliant. Well, I'm always happy to come along, do maybe some workshop chats, as well.
100%. We should definitely will we'll that's yeah, my goal is to in addition to the four um I would say seasonal event like the Easter, the Snugglefest, and the Halloween and Winter Wolf, is to do like smaller workshop for dog parents, for them to sort of get like you say, educational workshop.
Yes, I remember at the one event in the summer, and this was my idea. It was to do some speed dog training. So basically, like a dating, like
Ah,
speed dating, wasn't it? So it was speed dog training where people booked a 15-minute session
yes.
with me. Oh my word. Oh, that was good. I won't do that again in a hurry. 15 minutes goes very, very quickly. But I think I did offer some advice. I've never talked so quickly in my whole life, just to fit it all in into 15 minutes. Now, really, we have to really look at your whole routine with your dog. And so I suddenly realized it was a bit of an ambitious feature, that one, but happy to do that again. But Keith, no, look, thank you so much, for
Not at
joining
all. It's been great.
today. What's your main kind of feeling, your main premonition, if you like, for 2025? What can we take away?
It is going to be a great 2025 for Yap Yap and for everyone. I think everyone is, I think post Christmas, I think everyone is looking forward for 2024 to be over. I have a feeling. And I think 2025 will bring a brand new year to everyone. And YapYap has got lots of plans in place. So stay tuned. I mean, you can follow us on YapYap.dog on Instagram. That's where we are most active. Or YapYap.dog website. So yeah, I think 2025 will be a great one. It'll be a brilliant year for everyone.
Let's hope so. And, we've always got to make the best of everything. That's the thing.
Yes.
And dogs help you do that. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you again, Keef. Can't wait to be
No,
in touch soon.
thanks for inviting me again for the second time. Always a pleasure speaking to you, Anna.
That's our show, Mr. Binks. What did you think? Yes, it was an amazing Winter Woof this year. And next year, you're going to be sure to be there, Mr. Binks. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go on, rate and review the show wherever you tune into your podcasts, because it really makes a difference. Thanks, of course, to Keef Yap for joining us today. And of course, all the links are going to be in the show notes. Thanks to Mike, my producer, for all the production and music as ever. Find out more about him at Pod People UK. And for me, you can check me out on Instagram at WebDogs, or have a little snoop around my website at YapYap.dog. What's that, Mr. Binks? Yes, of course we're going to be back in your feed next Sunday. So you're right, everyone should subscribe, because that way you'll never miss another show. Bye for now.